So we have the bed here, which is the first thing you see when you step into the room. And our consideration for this bed was that it won't just be a box, but it will be a house for storage as well, considering the limited space we have. Some storage was installed in the bed, and we ensured not to put just the typical storage of these drawers here. You know, this is the most common thing you see when you have storage under the bed, but we incorporated something we hadn't actually seen before, which is doors under the bed that can house the boxes of anyone who comes here. Something that is very important to us when we're designing space is to ensure that the space remains clean even if someone is living there. And so we thought about how do we ensure that boxes are not lying around the room and someone can come into the space, tuck their boxes away, and the space still looks very clean and very aesthetic. So this plays a major role in ensuring that the space is clean at all times. Then beside the bed, we incorporated a niche, which is like a recessed wall nook for different things that the person who lives here might need. And so it can house your books, it can house your phone, where you can charge your phone and keep your phone away when you want to sleep, and just anything you want, basically essentials for when you're waking up or when you're going to bed. And so we find it to be very useful. When you have a space where you don't have enough space for bedside cabinet, this recessed wall nook does a great job of being a replacement for that in a small space. So the next thing we have here is the wardrobe. And when it comes to small spaces, a lot of times we wonder how we can still maximize storage for our clothes and clothing items within a small space. And so this was a major consideration in our space, that our clients have sufficient storage within the small space. So here we made sure to keep it clean on the face with this white glossy doors and a pop of brown. When you push it open, you have the wardrobe space here. You have some space above, some space under, and a drawer in between. And so we tried to keep the wardrobe as standard as possible. One of the temptations we have with small spaces is to make everything small because you want to save space, but we tried to see how we could keep it standard both in width and in height, so that one of the primary functions of a bedroom space is not sacrificed because of the small space. And so this can take our clients' belongings for a short stay, which is what this space is primarily for. Then beside it, we have something that was quite interesting to us when we thought about it, and that is this little space here for the ironing table and the broom and the iron. So once again, we are constantly thinking about how you can enjoy daily life while still keeping the space clean. So it's that constant dance between beauty and function. And we knew that whoever stays here will need to iron their clothes, sweep the room, but we didn't want these things to be lying around. So we created a slim nook for it. And when you're done ironing, you can put it back in and nobody will know you have an ironing table in your room. Okay. Then the very last section of this wardrobe is where the shoes and bags are stored. What we did here was to orient the shoes and bag storage away from the entrance. So when you step into the room, you have a clean facade, a clean finish, but when you step to the side, you have an open storage here for your shoes, bags, and anything you want to hide away from the front view of the room. When our clients saw this particular third part of the wardrobe, They were pleasantly surprised because they didn't think the space would be big enough to take storage for shoes and bags. But once again, when we're designing spaces, whether big or small, we're constantly thinking of how you can really live and still enjoy the space even though it's small. And so it was important for us to bring in something that your shoes, bags, and any type of storage can still have a place to shine. So here we have the TV console, which houses the workstation and the hidden fridge. So once again, we're thinking about how to keep the space clean and still functional. So in this particular space, we had a color scheme that we worked with, some whites, browns, and gold accents. And so looking at the fridge, we can see that it has a decent color. However, it doesn't really fit into the scheme, and so we ensured to keep it hidden to keep a clean and cohesive look of the space, and it's only used when it's needed. For the workstation, we ensured that we kept it as minimal as possible, but still present and still sufficient for anyone who's using this space and wants to work. No matter how small a space is, we try to ensure that we provide a workstation to keep whoever is using the space productive and on top of their work if they need to work while staying here. And with the TV console itself, once again, though it's a small space, we try to create something that would make a statement. When working with small spaces, there's a temptation to make everything small and make everything feel like you're managing the space. And so it was important to us to create pieces that made a statement and were still somewhat expansive in the space. So we are now in the kitchen, which was the trickiest part of this project, as we have a tapered space, irregular and quite small. The first time we walked in here, it was quite a shock to us as it was smaller than what the client had even told us about. But once again, we're thinking about how to create a space that still felt complete and didn't feel like you were managing, something that was still aesthetic, still elevated, and still maximally functional. And so walking into the kitchen, we created the standard kitchen cabinet and aligned the base cabinets to fit the slant of the space, and we incorporated a small sink but still sizable enough to do your washing and anything you might want to do here. We also have our full-sized blender, full-sized electric kettle, and these are elements that add a sense of grandeur to a space because we didn't go for the small or baby sizes. So sometimes with space-saving techniques, you actually do some of the things that seem crazy, so you go the other way. When people expect you to go with smaller items, you go with bigger items because it makes the space feel like, oh, it's actually not a small space. So another thing we did here to save space was incorporating this pull down rack, which keeps the countertops decluttered from rinsing and placing plates after washing. So typically when you wash, you dry your plates beside the sink, but this helps all of that to stay tucked away as we have limited counter space. So when you drop the plate, you can put it back in here, nicely tucked away and hidden, and your kitchen remains clean while being functional. We have our microwave here tucked away, and we just try to ensure throughout the process that we create space for average and standard sized equipment that will fit into the limited space. We also have some storage spaces here. We have storage for cutlery. We have extra storage. So we just created a standard kitchen as much as possible. We even have storage for pots and pans and all of that stuff. So the kitchen is functional and, dare we say, pretty. One last thing we did here, which was also to ensure as much function as possible for the kitchen, was incorporating this collapsible table. So we know that typically in a kitchen you want to be able to cut things up while you're cooking, and with the limited counter space here, we incorporated this table that you can lift up when you want to cook, and you can place your items on it and do your prep for cooking. And when you're done, you can't put it down, and it makes room to move around the kitchen. Okay, so here in the bathroom, one of the space-saving techniques we incorporated was having a mirror that doubles not just as a mirror but also as a shelf where you can place your toothbrush, your toothpaste, and bathroom essentials nicely hidden. No one will know they are there. And we also have a recessed nook here, which helps to house your decor, your toilet paper, and any other thing you want to put there, keeping the space once again clean and tidy while being functional.